Hey crew, all right, we are trying something new and I'm going live to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube all at once. So I really hope this is working. If it's not, nobody will know because I'll be talking to myself. But I wanted to jump in today to talk to you about sales calls, discovery calls, strategy calls, whatever you call them. The beautiful thing about this awesome new program that I'm using, Restream, is I can also see everybody's comments. So I would love to hear from you. If you're watching live, say hello. If you've got questions along the way, feel free to chuck them in. But sales calls, the big thing. I feel like this is where a lot of coaches get stuck because whether you're doing calls yourself or whether you're doing them, whether you've got a team working for you that's doing them as well, it almost comes to the time that when you mention the program or the service or the membership that you want to sell, it's almost like we shift personality. We go from showing up and being amazing coaches and asking really powerful questions to help these prospective clients move forward. That when it comes to actually selling, we hit a brick wall. I am of the mindset that when you are talking to somebody on a discovery call, it's all about them being curious, asking really awesome questions, and most importantly, having them ask to work with you at the end of the call, not the other way around. That process is crucial to build rapport, to build trust. And if you stick around, I'm going to give you the exact script that we use to get people to that part of the call. So if that sounds good, comment below if you'd like a copy of the worksheet at the end. The key with discovery calls, really incredibly simple, is we make it simple anyway, is that you want to find out where they are now, where they want to get to, what's holding them back, and most importantly, can you help them get there? If you can't, wish them well. Be an advocate for the person that you're talking to. Don't sign them up to a package that isn't going to get them the results that they want. And remember, it's all about the results that they think they need, not the results that you think they need. Because that's in the end what we're selling. We're selling the transformation. Okay. So let's jump in. If we want to take a look at this discovery script, I might as well get to the meaty stuff, and we'll show you right now. This is what I like to call the ultimate discovery call planner. And like I said earlier, if you want a copy, chuck worksheets below, and I'll send you this, and you can use it with your ideal clients. Okay. The first thing that we need to do when we jump on a call is build some rapport and frame how the conversation is going to go. This is a really integral part of your qualification process because you don't want people jumping on that and having a massive 45-minute conversation with them if they're not interested in your service, right? We're here to serve, but we're also here to grow your business. So you've got to make sure that you make the most of this conversation and that they really clearly understand what they're going to get at the end of the call. Okay. So when it comes to building rapport and framing the conversation, we can take a look at where they're at in terms of country. You might want to ask them about their dog in the background. I always have people asking me about my French bulldogs, but essentially just exploring, having a bit of a chat, exploring where they're at, and gaining understanding of, do you have a good relationship with this person? We then want to talk to them about the purpose of the call. So you'll notice in the screen below, and I'm going to change my highlighter because it's coming up a really disgusting color. Let's go with purple. Um, Purpose of the call for us to gain an understanding of where you're at, where you want to get to, and the roadblocks that might be holding you back. That's generally how we frame it. If someone's cool with that, then we can just let them know. I always like to keep the call open, make sure people know that they can ask questions, and following on from that, we're going to then gain understanding of what they feel they need right now and where they're at and what attracted them to talking to you. Okay. So, exactly like it says here, firstly, I'm curious, why is this important for you right now? Why do you want to move forward right now? This is a really beautiful way of explaining to them, you know, why now? Why do you need a coach? Yeah. And you can straight away hit the nail on the head if they don't want to coach, they can't afford it, all of those things that kind of come up. Hopefully, we can get them to come up early so that you can move forward faster. The other thing that I like to do, and look, rarely does this happen where they give you a 30-second rundown, but essentially just asking them where they're at right now. What do they need? From there, you want to create the vision. And as coaches, you should all be kick ass at this. So, what do they want to achieve in the next 12 months' time? You could frame this to your program and ask them, what do they want to achieve in 6 months' time or 3 months' time, depending on what your hero package, the length of time that you have your hero package in there. Yeah. Really important that you dig in on this because we want them to connect the vision to you. If you've helped them come up with this amazing vision, you're building rapport and trust from the get go. Cool. From there, we want to go down to the gap. So essentially, we want to think about what's the biggest problem that they want to solve. What's holding them back from getting there? What's prevented them from making it happen on their own? And again, you can notice with this, for those NLP people out there, you'll know exactly what we're doing with this. We're getting them to understand that they haven't been able to do it alone. Maybe they have, but maybe there's a couple of things they've been stuck with, which is why they potentially need a coach to help them move forward. Okay. So that's the gap. Following on from there, we're going to recap. And this is where your powerful listening techniques come in, coaches. You are going to let them know what you have heard in the conversation. And, one of my previous mentors said it incredibly well. If you can explain someone's problem better than they can, they are sold. Yeah. If you're able to show them that you understand them, you can come to their level and you can respect where they're at and really articulate where they're at and what they need to move forward, you've already got one foot in the door when it comes to them becoming your client. Cool. So we want to make sure that we recap everything that you've heard. And I generally like to grab a little notepad and pen and jot a couple of notes down, just a few words. I'm not a big fan of taking notes during coaching sessions, but I think a few words really, really helps people understand. You're using their language. If you take notes, they feel heard if you talk back in their language, and it definitely builds rapport. Yeah. The final step from there is the offer. And like I said, this is where things can get a little bit scary for people sometimes, whether you're a new salesperson in a business or whether you are a new coach or you haven't sold your own products before. But you want to let people know if you can support them or not first. Okay. So essentially asking them, hey, I definitely believe that I can support you with, insert their words here, right? Remember with the offer, the most important thing is that you're selling what they want. You're selling their pain points and their challenges. You're not telling them what they need. We don't sell our tools. We don't talk about NLP or hypnotherapy or behavior profiling or all of these cool systems and tools we've got. All we let them know is that we can help them with what they think they need. Okay. We then ask them a really powerful question, which is, what do you want to do from here? Silence. Let them think, let them process. Don't feel like you need to justify or prove anything if they aren't responding straight away, because they might be solving some objections in their own mind because they're so excited to work with you. Okay. So, what would you like to do from here? And then just pause. Let them answer next. One of the best uh, sales quotes I've ever heard is that the next person to speak loses. Yeah. So from there, fingers crossed, they'll go, look, what's the cost or what does it look like to work with you? And that's when you can start to explain that process. And in the Level Up Formula program, we've got some really cool structures and 15-minute close techniques that you can use next to get people on board. But the key with this is that you want to make sure people clearly understand what they're going to get from you, that it's in their language. And the biggest thing that I want you to remember, be prepared to enroll. If right now listening to this, you're like, oh, look, the next thing that I do is send them an email or, let them know that there's, an agreement coming in their mailbox or, that they can, I'll send them an invoice for the first payment. With the ease of payment platforms and systems right now, you can create a simple link that people can click while they're on a call with you and get them to commit on the spot, even if it's just a small deposit, because we want to make it easier for them to accept and keep that momentum going that you built up on this call. Then we want them to get cold feet and leave. Yeah. You don't want to send an email and give them all of that time to think and go, oh, hang on, have I made the right decision? Do I need to wait? Is this right for me? Because as we all know, all that self doubt, yep, that little part of our brain that talks us out of things and keeps us safe, this is the ideal period of time where that little person is going to creep in and try and talk them out of it. So keep that momentum going. Get a payment link ready. If you're doing the call on Zoom, chuck them into a chat. Chuck the link into the chat, I should say. Get them to enroll with you on the phone. If they've got any questions, they can ask you then and there. Please do not ask them if they have any questions, because that's just going to get them to create questions, to create objections. And you want to make the process smooth and easy for them so that they can take that next step with you. Wrap up the call by explaining to them what will happen next. So, the way that we do it, once they've filled out their membership form, agreement will land in their inbox. As soon as they sign that, they'll get a welcome email that will give them their portal access, explain to the client exactly what they need to do next. We invite them to an onboarding call, and they've got absolutely everything they need to gain the momentum in their coaching business. What's your onboarding process like? What do you feel you need to fix? I'd love you to comment below whether you feel you need some help with your onboarding, you need some help with your sales calls. If you've got any questions from watching this video, I would love to hear. Most importantly, if you want to get a copy of the worksheets that I went through on this call, then comment worksheets below and I'll send through something for you. You might notice down the bottom there is a little objections section there. All of the great things that we use when it comes to objection handling with our clients. So if you want to check that out, ask for the worksheets and we'll send them through. Hope this has been a great video for you all. Look forward to talking to you further. I really hope that Restream has worked and this has gone where it needs to go. And I'll speak to you all